Hello, I'm going to go ahead and demonstrate Firewill's F-35B Lightning 2 mod, available on the Steam Workshop. I'll include a link below. This here is the plane. I quite enjoy this. I've been using it a little bit after I found it recently. Little low res, but it is functional. Getting in, my biggest complaint is the cockpit. It's a little claustrophobic. The screen is pixelated, and the nav ball leaves a lot to be desired, but that is acceptable because we also have the HMD, so that corrects for it. Now, the F-35B is capable of CTOL, VTOL-assisted, and just complete VTOL takeoffs, as well as conventional landing and vertical landing, as well as, I believe, vertical takeoff or vertical assisted landing. But from the carrier, we can do just a normal launch first, demonstrate just the conventional process. So I'll taxi up over here. Holding space. And here. And we're in the air. Pretty standard. Let me go ahead and select this runway over here. Okay, where is it? There. That little thing in the bottom left corner is the C-Tab Devastator Edition. I will also include a link for that. It is a pretty nice utility. I use it more with helicopters than with planes because for some reason in planes, if you open the full screen, it kills your throttle. Not sure why it does that. This does have a 360-degree FLIR targeting pod that you can also lock. So when you air brake with this, it also deploys the engine to about 45 degrees automatically. Here's the throttle, because this thing has a very punchy engines. We're down. You can see that braking in action. Oh. Now, let's say you don't have a lot of runway left, or you only have a short runway. You can do VTOL-assisted takeoff. To do this, you go to your scroll menu. I have that bound to a little stick on my HOTAS here. You do not need a HOTAS to do this, though, so you go to auto vectoring off, and then using whatever you would do to control your flaps, you then tap, and in the left corner you can see that tiny little arrow moving. That is the gimbal of your engine. So for the takeoff, set it to 45, throttle up to 100, pull back on the stick, and you have a rapid takeoff. Here. Good to go. Alright. So now, I actually have not attempted this myself, but I'm going to see if vertical assisted landing is possible. So I'm setting engines to 45%, reducing throttle, and whipping it around. Lowering gears. Throttle more. Not my finest approach, but it'll do. And we're down. Now, I'm going to taxi over to one of the tighter points over there. I'll speed up the footage so you don't have to watch me drive an F-35 for 5 minutes. Alright, here we are. So let's say you have a much tighter takeoff zone, or you don't have access to a runway. Not a problem for the F-35B. Go ahead and pitch your engine gimbal all the way down to 90%. Throttle up to 100. Pull back on the stick. Or just tilt yourself backwards with S if you do not have a stick. And here we go. We've gained some altitude. Head and start just bit by bit. You get more and more forward, 45 degrees. Once you're at about 200 kilometers an hour, you can go ahead and just pitch all the way. And then if you turn auto vectoring back on, it'll close the turbofan hatches on the top and back, so you're just flying a normal plane now. Let's go ahead and return to the carrier, which, after previous testing, you cannot classically or conventionally land on with this plane. It does not have a tail hook, and it is simply too zippy for that runway. At least with my capabilities. I am no master pilot. Since we don't need to be going too fast, I'll reduce throttle. Go a little bit of speed on approach. Actually, you know what? Have some fun. Yum. There's our carrier friend over there. Lower my throttle even more. As much speed as I can. Now, set engine gimbal to 90%. Throttle up to, we'll just do 100 for right now. Yep. This is not a textbook VTOL landing anyway. I'm still getting the ropes of this, but it is possible, and I wanted to demonstrate that. Reduce the throttle. Oh. Alright. That was a bit too much. That was a bit too much. Give it some throttle. Oh. Just like landing a helicopter. There you go. Oh yeah, and if you just want to hover it somewhere, it's again 100% throttle, 100% throttle, pitch up. The hover point that I've found is roughly around 67 to 68. If you see my climb on the left of the HUD, it says climb or C1. That means my climb ratio is at like positive, means I am gaining altitude. Currently very slowly, and then if I drop it to 66, climb is currently at 0. It isn't perfectly at 0. I will be gaining or losing altitude, and then as I pitch, I will also be moving forward and backwards. But generally, this is a good hovering. Something you can do is use the targeting pod from a distance. Use the laser marker, and you can lock on and fire laser-guided munitions. So that's always a thing. And but yeah, that is how you hover the F-35. Happy flying. Hope this was helpful.